Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Downriver Firepower with yet another video for you. I'm kind of going in a different direction with this video, and I hope everybody can appreciate it. I'm just going to go over some basics between rifle rounds, shotgun shells, and pistol rounds, and why they are the way they are, and why you don't tend to see a lot of disbursement over the different formats of weapons of all the ammo here, or of all the different calibers, I should say. Now, I will start by saying a lot of these are these rifle rounds here, the more common rifle rounds you find. There are a lot more. This is just scratching the surface with this video, but I figured I'd show it in comparison. Right here you have a 308, a 7.62 by 39, a 6.8 Remington SPC, which you actually may not see all that often. It's not the most popular round in the world. 223 Remington, and a 5.45 by 39. I also included a 45-70 for a comparison to show you the difference between more modern rounds and rounds that were developed in the black powder era. The black powder era, the only way to get more power in a round was more black powder, and so hence you have huge fat rounds that fired a very heavy bullet. Now, more modern ammo tends to use smaller caliber, meaning the diameter of the bullet itself, smaller calibers driven at much higher speeds. You're talking 2500 range to the 3300 range in a lot of these bullets you see here. Now, shotgun shells work in a different way. They tend to disperse a lot of small projectiles as opposed to one solid projectile in a bullet. You have the two 410 bores here, which is a 2 3/4 and a 3-inch. You have a 2 3/4 20-inch shell, or 20 gauge shell, excuse me, and you have the two 12 gauge shells, the 2 3/4 and the 3-inch. There are a lot, there are a lot more shells, as there are a lot more bullets out there. These are just some of the ones I had on hand that are a little more common. Now, as it goes to pistol rounds, you have different kinds of pistols. For the most part, you have revolvers and semi-autos. There are also single shots, all kinds of different ways they operate. But for the most part, these are a lot of the more common rounds. You have a 45 Colt, 44 Magnum, 44 Special, 357 Magnum, and 38 Special. These are most commonly found in revolvers due to them having a rim, which makes it so the extractor can catch on the rim and either eject or partially eject the shell so it can be removed and a new one can be inserted. Now, semi-auto rounds are extracted and inserted in a whole lot of different ways, but these tend to go in the magazine-fed pistols. You have a 22 long rifle, the 22 Magnum, the 25, which mostly called 25 Auto, 32 ACP. This is just one for illustration for a bottleneck cartridge, but this is a 32 NAA. This is a 380, which the 32 NAA is a 380 with the neck taken down and the bullet taken down to 32 caliber. Let's see. Next is considered a 5.7 by 28. It is a 22 caliber pistol round developed for the P90 submachine gun, personal defense weapon, I guess you'd call it. Then you have the 9mm. You have the 40 Smith & Wesson, the 45 GAP or Glock automatic pistol, the 45 ACP or the automatic Colt pistol round, and you have a 10mm. This is not an all-inclusive collection of rounds, but it's just kind of illustrating what you may find if you're looking at a revolver or a semi-auto. Now, the reason the rounds are so different in size is because of the restrictions you have on that size due to the platform that you're firing it from. In a revolver, you're not really limited by grip size. You can have a small grip with a relatively big bullet because You're only limited by the width, there you go, of the cylinder. Now if you want a big, huge, bulky gun, you have a big, huge, bulky round. Kind of easy to understand there. Now, when you get into the bigger rounds, this being a 38, this being a 357, you'll see the size difference, also holding 6 rounds. And this being a 44 Magnum, you'll see the size of the cylinders are very, very different because they're designed to hold different rounds. Now, due to being based on the circumference of the cylinder, you don't really have a very large ammo capacity. You don't tend to in a revolver because of that limitation. Semi-automatic pistols are a little bit different. You're limited by the size of the actual frame itself, or the grip. Because in most semi-autos, exceptions being anything based on like a Mauser broom handle or something like that, where it's the magazine is accepted in front of the chamber, I should say, or in front of the trigger, excuse me. But you're limited by the size of the grip. The bigger the round and the more rounds you put in, the bigger the grip. Hence why you have a very large grip on a double-stacked handgun like the Glock, which stacks the rounds right next to each other and therefore is quite fat and a little ungainly. And you have a single stack which keeps all the rounds in a straight line and tends to make for a very thin pistol, but also reduces capacity quite a bit. Those are two subcompact firearms. This is a full-size firearm, and you'll see what capacity you can get to in a full-size firearm. This is a 17-round magazine. It fits flush with the grip, and you'll see that the greater ammo capacity over that of even a full-sized revolver, which holds only 6 rounds. Now, they do get pretty ridiculous in size for magazines. This is a 32-round Glock magazine, originally made for the Glock 18 submachine pistol, but is legal to buy for the Glock 17, 19, or 26. This is just a small discussion, kind of explaining why the rounds are the way they are, and maybe some of the different rounds you'll find in the different guns. I'll touch on this a little more later, especially on the shotgun shells and the rifle rounds. Any questions, anything like that, please feel free to comment or directly email me. Hope this was at least a little bit informative and maybe getting some of those people who are just getting into shooting, giving them a little more information. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe me. This is Downriver Firepower. You guys have a good day.